know what happened. I don't use this stuff.
Me either.
I use Zoom, but that's $15 a month, and I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Yeah, it kicked me out as soon as I hit record. Oh, that's great. All right, we are we are live. Uh, all right, here's the intro.
You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Texas to Tennessee podcast. Now to Virginia tonight and Oklahoma. We're branching out. We are Steveless tonight. I'm Soul Gravy, and we have Caden with us from the podcast called Hidden Tracks. Thanks for hopping in.
Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor. It really is.
Well, I mean, we're not that big of a deal, honestly, but welcome in. And then our interview tonight is Alisha Marie. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good, and we're not dodging tornadoes over here like you are in Oklahoma right now, but we're
Yeah.
that'll be here tomorrow, unfortunately. So
What's that new saying? What is it? Ain't no love in Oklahoma or something like that?
that's right. Well, just real quick, I guess give us a little rundown on you. Let the folks give me a little rundown of who you are, Alicia.
All right. Well, my name is Alisha Marie. I'm originally from California. I moved to Oklahoma to chase some music dreams. I moved out here in 2024. I started music in 2023. I grew up with my dad as an Elvis impersonator, so I've been around music my whole life. And so I've just always been heavily influenced by music. And my mom was also a music lover, not musically talented, but she loved her music.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I just went to a strand of concerts that kind of lit the fire underneath me and started writing my own songs and picked up my guitar and started going in 2023. And here I am now.
Just dove into it. All right, so I gotta ask. I didn't know about the Elvis impersonator thing. I'm just north of Memphis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of the shows that I go to are literally right down the street from Graceland at a place called Hernando's Hideaway, which was where Elvis and Jerry Lee hung out back in the day and all that kind of stuff. So, that's pretty cool. Have you ever been to this part of the world?
No, my
No.
dad has, but
Okay.
I've been trying to make my way out to Graceland for some time now since I moved out here. So I'm working on it. I got TCB tattooed on me and everything. So
All right. Surprisingly, I've never been. I've never been to Graceland, and I
okay.
know, and I don't think hardly anybody in my family has, which is oddly common. I don't know why. Considering how everybody's so close and how, I mean, it's not like they weren't fans of him, but they just, of course, they don't really do shit either. So, they don't get out much. But yeah, I've never been. I need to change that for sure. All right, so let's California to Yukon, Oklahoma.
Yep.
What I mean, honestly, if you're playing certain kinds of music, it makes sense. But what led you to make those decisions?
So I have some really good friends that live out here in Oklahoma. They moved from California to Oklahoma before I did. And I've been looking to get out of California for some time. And when I got into music, a lot of the people I was listening to were based out of Oklahoma. So when I first got into music, I was listening to a lot of like Zach Bryan and Wyatt Flores, and those are both Oklahoma boys. And so I just kind of on a whim one day applied for a job at OU and then landed it. And I was like, well, if it's meant to be, then it'll line up, and it lined up perfectly. So And now my music my music taste has changed since I've been out here. So I've gotten into red dirt super heavy. Whereas like before I was listening to more like Nashville sounding type things. But now I'm like into like Brandon Jenkins, Michael McClure, Cross Canadian Ragweed, all those guys. So definitely just kind of, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I understand. That is kind of, that's, I don't know. You would kind of think if someone was going to move to Oklahoma like that part of, you would already kind of be in that lane of music anyway, and then you kind of dove into it after the fact, which is,
Mhm.
long as you wound up there, that's and there's a ton of people that, everywhere that's not Oklahoma and Texas that don't know who those people are, anyways. I could see where a lot of like Brandon Jenkins and those guys wouldn't be on your radar
Yeah. And
being
it's
outside of
funny
Oklahoma.
too, because I saw Treaty Oak Revival and Gannon Freeman out in California, and I'd met some of the Gannon Freeman boys, and they're like, I was like, what does CC Rev mean? And they're like, do you know who Cross Canadian Ragweed is? First time I ever heard of that name. I was like, CCR, that's Creedence Clearwater Revival, but like, what do you mean?
All right.
And so yeah, and so then moving out here, and my husband, we met shortly after I moved to Oklahoma, and he's the one that had a heavy influence on my red dirt taste now, because he's a lead guitarist for a red dirt band out
I
here.
got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're not gonna skip the Steve is in the chat though. I see you. So we're not gonna skip his question. This question is called the pie question. All right. It is this is your pie. It's a musical pie, and it's made up of
Okay.
four parts. All right. We got songwriting, performance, studio, and then the business and socials and everything else that goes into, the stuff you may or not like to do. Which one of those things is home for you?
I would say songwriting. Yeah, songwriting and performance are my two big slices right there. Um, that's where I like to focus on a lot, because that's what got me into music, was being able to take my feelings and then put them into words and into a rhythm and into a song, and then being able to perform it for other people, and then them tell me like how much that song meant to them, and I'm like, well, it's cool to know that other people feel the same way, and that
Mm-hmm.
it hits home for some people. So that's, I think songwriting is definitely like a huge chunk of that pie.
Which which one of those came first, as far as you getting to the point where you're at now? Was it the performance side, or were you automatically interested in the songwriting side?
I think performance side came first, just
Mm.
because of being around my dad, and I was heavily involved in like dancing and all that stuff when I was a kid. So performing kind of came natural to me, and then songwriting came second.
I got you. All right, Caden, you got one?
What what would you tell somebody for first time songwriting? What would your steps be for them?
First time songwriting. That's a question right there. I would say just kind of taking what you feel, putting it on paper, and heck, sometimes a melody comes first. So if you think I have a melody stuck in your head, then you start writing words to it to match that melody, or you write the words first and then match a melody to that, and just kind of really leave no stone left unturned when you're writing your feelings out. And yeah, just kind of going with the flow. You don't take it too serious.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just be chill when you're writing songs.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, don't be too hard on yourselves. It's sorry, words are hard for me sometimes, and so like trying to articulate them into full sentences.
I think we're all three in the same boat, so it's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. What about the co-writing side of that thing?
Um,
Is it
it's
something you
always
dove into?
Not yet. I've have opportunities lined up to do so. So I'm just kind of waiting to confirm some times and days. But I've co-written with some people, and it's just a fun time. It's, you bounce ideas off each other, and where you might lack in some area, then that person can pick up the slack. Not necessarily slack, but like just kind of be able to help out.
Well, Birdie, with some notes that he sent me, said that you were going to be writing with a couple friends of the podcast, Johnny Woods and
Yep.
Heath Owens. I haven't had a chance to meet Heath yet, but he was on the pod, but I haven't met him in person. But I got to meet Johnny last October, so some super talented folks, that's for sure. So that'll be cool. I'll be excited to
Yeah.
see what comes of that.
Me too. Me too. That's the opportunities I was talking about.
Hmm.
So I gotta actually hit them back up and set some dates.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't I can't really imagine how things like that would be. And also, I was gonna. You said that you were talking about Gannon, and I knew that he was coming on soon, but I couldn't look at the schedule and control everything else that's going on. But he's gonna be on next Tuesday.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so he'll be if live on the Facebook and YouTube and all that. So looking forward to that. And he's kind of got some momentum going on these days. So that's
Yeah.
yeah. Congratulations to him. All right. I have to talk about the studio side of that pie because another friend of the podcast I know that you've been working with. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm not really super heavy into the studio right now. I did do some studio work with Cosmic Mama Studios down in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
where I met Steve, and that was super fun, super good time. But I'm looking to get more into the studio, but studio time is quite pricey and I'm quite broke. So um, I'm just kind of waiting to get to a right place and to be able to be in the studio more and record more, because I really want to get some fully produced songs, because all I have out right now, I love them, but all I have out right now is acoustic version songs.
Right. And
So,
who she was talking about, if you've been following along with the podcast and stuff, she's talking about with Tim Lightyear's place. So that's Tim was on him early on. Super talented fellow, that's for sure. And glad to hear folks are, um, I know a lot of people use Tim in that studio, but it's cool to hear. 'Cause I think he was just kind of getting it rolling when he came on this thing. Um, all right, well let's dive in a little bit more about you. I want to know the performance side. Now I want to know about the performance side with Dad and the Elvis thing. What was your deal with that?
well,
That how,
you know,
how did you contribute to the
I
to
would go to a lot of his shows and competitions that he would do that I was allowed to go to.
Mhm.
And there's one song that we always sing together. And so being able to go up on stage with him and to sing the songs with him and stuff like that, it kind of unlocked the performance side in me. And I was able to kind of get loose. But with holding a guitar and stuff, I try my best to move around on stage now, but it's kind of hard and limiting when you have a guitar in your hand and you're trying to sing songs too. So um, but yeah, just growing up around it really, like I said earlier, heavily influenced me and my performance side. So my dad, he just has so much fun with it and has such a light heart with it too. He always taught me, if you mess up, you just laugh about it, you keep going. People don't care. It's not that deep,
Right.
you know.
Generally, it's not. Other musicians like that, like it is,
Yeah.
they're the usually other musicians are the ones that are more critical, but everyone else is just there to have a good time for the most part. So,
Yeah.
what song was it that do you remember?
Trouble.
Okay,
Yeah.
T
So
R
the
U B L E. All right.
not the TROUBLE
No,
one, but
not
the
that one. Okay.
not that one. No, that one it's
What's
from King Creole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember what you're talking about. That's a total different direction of a song. Of a song that that one. Yeah, the Travis Tritt version of that song, "Trouble," came into my mind when you said that. But um, either way, I know Elvis did both of those. But all right, Caden, you got another question?
So I'm sure early on with you performing with your dad and everything kind of helped you get over your stage fright. What would you tell somebody like? Because I've done a few shows myself, and it's always like I've always got the jitters. How do you, in your own way, how do you get rid of that?
Well, um,
Are you gonna
couple
be the
deep
one?
breaths and a couple twisted teas, and then I'm good to go.
Are
um,
you gonna be the one to take a couple shots before you do it and everything, or
yeah, I
there and knock it out?
even my dad, like he always would take a shot, and it's blackberry brandy. That's his choice.
Hmm.
So he'd always take a shot before he'd perform anything. But for me, whenever I get the stage jitters, I just take a couple deep breaths, remind myself it's not life or death. It's not that serious. It's just music, and it's a part of your soul. It's that just letting yourself loose, kind of, and just reminder that it's really not that serious. Like I take music very seriously. I do. Like, and I don't want to make it sound like I don't, but at the end of the day, it's just relax, man.
Don't take the fun out of it for yourself.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be lighthearted, and I mean, unless you're writing, some pretty deep stuff, which I do have some really, heavy hitting songs, but um, for the most part, man, it's just don't take yourself too seriously and take the fun out of it.
Have you done any of the openings spot any of those slots yet?
I've done a couple opening slots for some people around here. Just at like local, like little bars and stuff like that downtown. I've opened up for the Solis Brothers. They're based out of San Antonio, Texas, and then my friend Tori Ray, she's based out of Weatherford, Oklahoma. Um, and then my biggest opening slot is coming up, which is the Lincoln Swansea at the Vanguard in
Yeah.
Tulsa. That'll be March 26th. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Do you look at those the opening slots different than one of your solo gigs?
No.
No.
I look at it as like I'm putting myself on that stage and I'm painting a picture of myself and my music, and I want people to see who I am for who I am. So I want to make sure that that message gets portrayed correctly with every performance.
When you, especially when you open up for somebody else, when you see that their audience is starting to pick up what you're laying down, what's that? How's that feel from your point of view?
It feels really good because I know they're not there to see me. They're there to see, most of the time,
Right.
98% of the time, they're there to see the headliner, right? And to see someone jive and get down with my music, it's like, okay, I might be doing something right here. And even if they don't, I know as long as I reach one person in the crowd, then that's all I really care about.
And them coming over to the merch table or whatever, and
With all the merch that I don't have.
well, coming and saying something.
One day. Yeah, no, I've had people come up to me and talk to me about my music and my songs, and it's probably one of the greatest things ever for me personally. I've had people say that one song's made a certain impact on them. I had grown men come to me with tears in their eyes from certain songs that I've sang, and they've related so much to it, and it just hits me right deep in the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably just like hearing that. I wouldn't care if I sold out a huge venue, like as long as I made an impact on someone's life. Like, does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
No, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Well, and I can imagine it's reassuring and I say this a lot because I can't think of other ways to describe it, but I mean, I'm the same as Caden. Like I play the redneck bars, corner stages and stuff, and you know, you can a lot of times if you try to do an original song, you can almost see the glaze go over people's eyeballs, right? So, and that's not just me. That's most people, and most songs. So when somebody actually does say something or it connects with somebody, it's fuel in the tank to you know to keep on going because I mean most people just want to hear a shitty version of Neon Moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're satisfied. It doesn't matter if it's any good or not, as long as it's their favorite song, right?
Yeah.
But then there's that other small percentage of people that are actually listening, and that's the ones that you know when you find your tribe that way. That's when it's. I would imagine that's when you know, like, okay, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. It's definitely reassuring for sure. Because sometimes I'll be playing dive bars and everyone's three sheets to the wind. And I'll be playing like Boot Scootin' Boogie or something, one song, and then the next song is one of my originals. And then I can see the deadness of the crowd. And I'm just like, oh. I was like, great. You know, I played this one tune and then I go straight into original and then I lose them all. But they usually I don't want to sound any type of way when I say this, but usually there's always one person that says they enjoy it. And that makes all the difference to me. I'm like,
It
all right,
takes
cool.
it takes the folks that can hammer that home and really stick to their guns with that stuff. It because it is natural to just go, okay, they're not digging this. Let's play Purple Rain. You know, like it's natural to do that. And
Yeah.
some people that's what they really like to do, and that's what you know. Like your dad, you know, like he's in the entertainment side of things, you know what I mean? And and like I play in a cover band and I enjoy playing other people's songs. Um, so I don't mind it so much, but I can also see, even when I try to deep dive in the songs that I love, even if they're covers, you can still see that this crowd doesn't know, you know, they don't know Turnpike, you know, they don't know
Yeah.
whatever, right? So, and you lose them because they're not, you know, uh, but then every now and then I'll have on like a Whiskey Myers shirt and they're like, hey, you know, it's like, did we just become friends? You know,
Right.
right. It brings everybody back in. But anyway, I'll ask one more and we'll send it to you, Caden. What do you remember the first time one of your original songs connected with somebody? That do you is there like is that something that you actually like remember or go back to or just
The
one of those moments?
I do have one that recurs in my head. You know, I have a song called Phone Calls, and that song resonates with quite a few people. It's about some mental health struggles. But I have another one that I wrote, and it's called Bottles on the Shelf. And I wrote that specifically for men's mental health like awareness because I feel like it's something that needs to be brought to light more. And I played it at the Oklahoma State Fair. And mind you, it's not a upbeat, happy song, you know. And I had a little family sitting there, and it was a family of like four. There's a dad, son, and I can't remember, a daughter and a wife, I believe. But the dad came up to me with tears in his eyes after my performance, and he was like, "That one song that you wrote about men's mental health, man, that hit home. That you keep doing what you're doing because you're doing something right." And that meant the entire world to me. And you know, I was able to connect with him and his son because his son related to it too. And yeah, it was just awesome. Like they just said that you keep doing what you're doing, and you know you're reaching hearts. So that's one that I recall the most.
Understand. It's got to be. I don't know. I could see where that would be something that would, especially the first time, would kind of hang with you for a while.
Hmm. Especially, I mean, he came in with tears in his eyes too, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did not." It's like I did not expect that, but
You're like,
it
damn
felt good to
right.
make someone cry.
It's funny. It's like a win to make big guy crowd, right? So,
Right.
all right, Caden.
So have you had that moment yet where you look out into the crowd and you see somebody else singing your own song back to you?
I've only had that happen one time so far. Hopefully there's some more times in the future, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was actually at Magnolia Motor Lounge in Fort Worth, Texas. I was doing a songwriter competition, and one of the judges, I mean, given they had the lyrics in front of them, but one of the judges was like really into the song, and I could see her singing back to me, and I was like, oh heck yeah. Oh my god, it's so cool. Like, and then, you know, my friends that have heard my songs 100,000 times, I'll see them in the crowd singing it, and it always makes me really happy. Like, even though I know they've heard the song 1,000 times, like the fact that they're still sitting there singing it back to me is just really cool. Makes me feel real special.
Yeah. Another one, like whenever you're playing like all these local places, what's your biggest request you get asked to play?
You know what's crazy is that I don't really get a lot of requests. So I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I had one guy, I was playing at Toby Keith's in OKC, and I had one guy come up to me. He's like, "Hey, do you know any cross Canadian ragweed?" And I was like, "Listen, bud, I do, but I don't know how to play it. I'm sorry." And I told him, I was like, I'm from California. I just got to know who these guys are. And that was a mistake in itself, just to tell him I was from California. And he walked away. He's like, "Damn Californians." And I was like, "I'm sorry, bud."
No, but I have some Creedence Clearwater Revival if you would like to hear that.
Exactly.
I got your CCR, but I got the other CCR for you.
That's funny. Well, I get the opposite requests around here, so yeah. One of my last shows, somebody this older guy walked up and he said, "What the hell is a soul gravy?" And I'm like, "That's fair." Fair question. I really don't know the answer, you know. And at first I was like, well, it's an album by this, and then I just looked at him. I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's a fair question. I just killed it right there. I didn't even try to explain, but either way, I thought it was pretty funny. You know, I just laughed like, what the hell is a soul gravy? Fair question, sir. But all right. Well, let's. It's about halftime, so let's. We're gonna play one of your songs. And you want to give us a little rundown on Narcos?
Oh yeah, this is a fun
Oh.
one.
Oh, okay. Before we get there, when I play this, I'm gonna put a picture up on the screen. You'll still be able to see us or whatever, but the audience will not be able to see you. So if you need to step away or something for a minute like that, you can. And if you would hit that microphone button and mute, so it'll get the best play of the song. But
Okay.
all right, and give us the little rundown.
Little rundown on this. Well, take you back about 3 years ago. About 3 years ago. And I was in a situationship with a dude, and he was not the most loyal, to say the least. He was a bit of a narcissist as well. So I took
Okay.
his name and the word narcissist, and I got Narcos. So the song is pretty much about how he did me wrong and did me dirty, and the chorus is about how I felt about it. So
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to hearing this song about this guy. That's yeah. And I like that. I like the pettiness of that thing. That would definitely be
oh yeah.
me. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would 100% be me. I have a petty song too, so so I can relate. All right, guys, here we go.
Like coffee and cigarettes, I do anything I can to forget the way you made me feel out on the town. You told me love me, then the very next day you brought another woman home to play the songs that I showed you that I love. You said we were only friends, but on countless nights we shared a bed. You didn't want to muddy waters, but you tracked it in. I'll smoke till my lungs turn black to match the heart in your soul that you don't have, and you are cold as ice. I hope the wrongs that you did will be your demise. Narcissistic to the bone, your very own house I call my home, not knowing the lies those walls held. You gaslit me till I caught fire, and you called me crazy over the wire. When I started to catch on, and my friends all hated you for all the bullshit that you put me through. I drove by your house and saw her car, and I smoked till my lungs turn black to match the heart in your soul that you don't have, and you are cold as ice. I hope the wrongs that you did will be your demise. You called me crying countless times and said sorry for all your lying. Well, I'm just sorry for my wasted time. Yeah, I'm just tired of you, boy. And I smoke till my lungs turn black to match the heart in your soul that you don't have, and you are cold as ice. I hope the wrongs that you did will be your demise.
How you guys doing out there?
Yeah. So I can imagine being in the studio is intimidating to start with. Trying to record something live like that is like were you because everything that you have out on Spotify or whatever, from what I can see anyway, is live in some way, shape, or form. Is that more? Is that in? Are you thinking about that as you're playing, or are you just trying to do your show and let it happen how it happens?
Yeah, I just kind of let it go and happen how it happens, and then just pray to God that I don't mess up. So
That's that would like I would. When you listen back to it, or do you nitpick it like apart, or are you
oh,
are you
100%.
do
I
you?
rip it apart. Yeah, I rip it apart every single time. Anytime people ask me about my music, I'm like, yeah, I got some stuff out, but it's not like you hear on the radio. It's a live recording. I did it in one take, so give me some grace, you know?
Well, I'm interested to see where that goes when you get the chance to put that a full production with any of these songs. I'll be because I know it'll completely change
Hmm.
the feel of it or whatever. Especially like a song like that that's a little more that's a pissed off kind of song. I'm sure is going to sound totally different when you would have the chance to record it. But also, I mean, there's so many people that have songs in the bank and don't put them out because they're waiting to get that studio time or whatever the case would be. So kudos to you for getting it out there, because you wouldn't, if those were just sitting in a notebook or whatever, or in your in your phone, and they weren't out, you wouldn't be able to get some of these things that you're doing. And I know Caden, he's got friends that have recorded stuff in their living rooms or bedrooms or whatever, and just put it out, especially recently. I think we're both kind of mutual friends with a guy named Lance Rogers, and a lot of musicians that I'm glad. I know they all wish that they had the funds just to put it all, just do everything perfect. But I'm glad that they're putting it out there. I'm sure other people have different opinions because they want it to be, they want it to sound a certain kind of way. But I know it takes guts to put it out there like that. So I'm glad that you do. I'm glad that other folks do, because there's an audience for that too.
Yeah. And I always had this thing before I had anything out. I was like, people would always come up to me and be, do you have anything on Spotify? Do you have anything on? I'm like, nope, not yet. And then I was tired, like, because I put it as I like to use analogies a lot. And I use this analogy as you're going to a live show, that's your buffet, right? That's your buffet, all you can eat. You listen to music, you enjoy it. You want to take something home. You don't have a to-go box, though. You have all this food, but no to-go box. So putting songs out there, I wanted to give something to the people to take home. So I'm like, oh, here's this live recording of me singing the songs. Hope you enjoy.
Did that help get gigs?
Um,
Did it help on that side of things?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I've sent in my music and stuff when I like message people for booking and things like that. And to be honest, I haven't gotten any hits back. A lot of my gigs I book is from based off of my live performances.
Gotcha.
So me personally, I think I sound better live than I do on recording. But that's also, I hate hearing myself on recording. So
We were talking about that before we started, having to go back and edit the podcast or whatever, and hearing ourselves back or whatever. Like it's yeah, cringing for the most part. So I try not to even edit as much as I can not have to. All right, man, you got another question?
Really, I mean, that was the only thing I gotta say about that is I was hoping she was going to choose lighting cigarettes, because I was listening to that on my way home yesterday, and I was like, damn, that's good.
oh, lighting cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really hoping she was going to choose that one.
Well, she probably would have let us.
But I like that one too. That's a good one too. That Narcos, I like that a lot.
Thank you so much. Lighting cigarettes was a fun one that I wrote. At the story behind it. So when I was back in California, my friend posted on Facebook, "Hey, I'm need a ride to the airport. I'll pay you in gas and grass." And I was like, "All right, well, can't go wrong either way." So my car registration was past due about almost a year, and if you get caught doing that, you get your car impounded and all that stuff. Well, I didn't care. And I drove 2 hours to the airport on major highways and all that stuff. Like, there's no back roads to take. And she's doing illegal things in the front seat. And we came up on a highway patrolman, and I was like, oh. And I was like kind of on his butt a little bit. And she's like, you gotta pull back a little bit, man. And I was like, all right, cool. And so he gets off on the exit. And I know he saw the smoke coming out of the windows. And so he gets on right behind me and starts tailing me. And so I was like, here, hand me the cigarettes, because I learned it from a song, February 28, 2016. Light the cigarettes so he don't smell the weed. So quite literally, Coetzel saved my butt that day. Gave me that great idea. So I lit a cigarette and I hung it out the window, and then he left me alone. So...
Did you go to Taco Bell after that adventure?
I did not, no. And I was completely sober during that whole time too.
That's funny. I mean, out of all people to give life lessons, I wouldn't have thought it would have been Co Wetzel, but you know, whatever works, right?
Right.
Uh, all right. Well, we'll get into kind of some rapid fires here in a second. But you kind of you touched on a little bit the shows you got a opening spot coming up at the Vanguard, which is congratulations on that with
Thank
Lincoln
you.
Swansea, another guy that's been on the podcast. He's kind of he seems to be doing pretty good. Got some momentum going these days. So shout out to. I'm not saying it was because he came on the podcast or anything, but you know, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. No, he seems to really, like I said, have some momentum, and he seems to be a talented young fella. Hopefully, one of these days, I'll actually get to meet him in person and everything. So, a shout out to you for that opening spot. That's a pretty nice little place to play.
Yeah, I'm super, super thankful and really just excited for the opportunity. So,
Well, I just thought of another question. I guess this can kind of go into the rapid fire. But when you moved to town and first started, kind of, you said you were listening to Wyatt and Zach Bryan and those guys. But what was one of the first shows you actually went to when you got in the area? Did you kind of start checking out some of the locals or
um, let me see. I slowed down my concert going because I was focusing so much on my own music.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah,
didn't really.
it is hard to play shows and go to shows.
But the
Yeah.
first show that I remember going to out here was at the Criterion. It was the Red Clay Strays.
Okay.
Love those guys, man. They're fantastic. Um, but yeah, that's the first show I went to. My introduction to the music scene out here, I went to an open mic one Sunday night at some little smoky dive bar called the Silver Stallion. And that's where I met and got in touch with a lot of the people I know today. And it's where I kind of got my foot in the door for playing out here in Oklahoma. So that bar is no longer exists, but it's fondly remembered in my heart.
That's R.I.P. But uh, you know, I don't know necessarily about your area, but a lot of people we talk to, they talk about how kind of there's these circles and pockets of people trying to do you know what you're doing, and once you kind of it seems like from afar, once you kind of get in those circles and start meeting those people, and if you're trying to do the thing too and not trying to take shortcuts and whatever else, that you start meeting like-minded people and getting in those circles. Have you is that true in your situation?
Um, yes and no. Yes, in the fact that like it inspires me to keep like playing music and like to stay on top of it and keep going to these little open mics that I go to, and you know, supporting the local musicians at their shows and stuff like that. And then no, as a sense of like I kind of keep to myself a little bit.
Understand.
Because I've noticed, you know, sometimes there's a little bit of things happening in certain circles that I'm just not, I don't want to be a part of. And so I just mind my business and write my songs.
Hey, that goes on even in the music community. Like even
Yeah.
amongst music fans, there's always some little, you know, like somebody's like, I don't like that person, and somebody else is like, I don't like that person. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know, I just want
Right.
to, I just want to go to the show. You know,
Yep.
I wish y'all wouldn't tell me those things so that I could just like everybody. So, yeah. So it's not just the musicians; it's out in the crowd too, unfortunately. But you know, that's the way the world works these days. Um, all right, let's get into some rapid fire questions. You can. Do you have any off the top of your head there, Caden, or do you want me to take a couple? I don't want to steal your thunder if you do.
I was just thinking, what are your top three most? I guess, what's your top three places you want to play as you get bigger?
Okay. As I get bigger. Um,
Or even now, what are your top 3 favorite places you want to play the most?
I would have to say it's all Oklahoma. Um, I would love to play at Grady's, the Mercury Lounge, and then the third place. Oh, well, this one's not in Oklahoma. The Blue Light in
Okay.
Lubbock, Texas.
Love it. Well, you know that Grady guy, he was part of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I'm actually fairly decent acquaintances with Grady. Fun fact. And I met him at his open mic at his bar, and I was just like, hey, I just heard about your band that was really popular 20 years ago. I just heard about it yesterday, so I don't know who you are.
He probably liked that as far as just you're not, you're not you're coming at it from a different direction
Mm-hmm.
instead of just, fan girling or boying out about it,
Yeah.
I could see that. But also everybody there in that group seems to be pretty low key, pretty laid back. So which makes it even easier to pull for. Um, what about outside of you said the blue light. I was going to follow up with that. All right. If you started a music podcast, um, I kind of I'd like to hear from your point of view who you would have as your first guest, but because of your interest, not because of ratings or clicks or whatever you want to call it. Because somebody you want to talk to or you want to pick their brain.
That's a hard one. Do they have to be alive?
No.
Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Yeah, Johnny Cash for sure. Just to hear about his hardships growing up, and then just to be able to hear how he wrote some of his songs and just how he came about it. And then obviously Elvis Presley. So I'm shooting for the moon here. You know what I mean? Like this is a pretty big podcast I'm running. All right.
First episode is going to be a doozy. No, but I mean, it's easy to say, I mean, Elvis, of course, would, you're going for the ratings on that one too, but you're not saying that because of the ratings side of it. And Johnny Cash would definitely be one because, like, even Elvis, he had the rise in the fall, but it wasn't another rise, and Johnny had the whole roller coaster, which he went down and then has the other redemption story that on the back end of his career, which is not everybody unfortunately gets to have. So
Yeah. And as far as alive people, I would have to say a big fan of Shelby Stone. She's fantastic. She's wildly talented. And
she's so goofy. I love the
fact she just seems so cool.
She's a dork, and she's okay with being a dork, and I love that part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like her a lot too. Her music and the way she carries herself too.
Yeah. Definitely her. I really like Taylor Honeycutt's vibe. And
trust me, she's fun to talk to.
I bet.
She's definitely, there's no dull moments with her and her boys around, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Have you talked to them yet, Caden?
I talked to her about getting one started like at North Springs, and then
right
stuff. I mean,
it's a mess. Yeah, it's hard to tie people down there.
Yeah,
but well, that would be interesting though. She's, like I said, as they say, she's a hoot. All right, let's see. What would be another one? If you could put your music on any kind of, are you a movie, TV kind of person?
More so movie than TV.
Okay, well, what's a movie you would like to have your music on? Again, you can say it for money purposes, but I'd also I like it from the artsy side of it too, because it kind of gets to know you.
It's funny, and I don't want to sound cliche when I say this, but like when you ask me these questions, money is the last thing on my mind.
Okay, that's cool.
And so I just think about where I want my songs to be because of pure enjoyment.
Mhm.
And honestly, I would love to see my song on a Twister movie, because Twister was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. And then coincidentally moving out to Oklahoma, it still is one of my top favorite movies. So it'd be kind of cool to have one of my songs on there, but I don't maybe Light and Cigarettes would probably be the closest relatable song to be on a Twister movie.
That's fair enough. All right. Well, hey, I should have. Caden, do you know what the last question is? The one that with
Yeah.
the you know what it is?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I
All
know
right.
what it is.
All right. Well, we'll let you ask the. This is a question that started as a joke on episode 1, and now it is a requirement that we ask this. So we try to let the new folks ask. So it's your turn.
So, what's your favorite Little Debbie?
My favorite Little Debbie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love Little Debbie so much. This is the
Great.
favorite question. Cosmic brownies, no doubt.
Well, there. Shelby Stone said this. See, it's a match made in Little Debbie heaven. She's that was hers too, and she complained that they're smaller than they used to be. Either that, or her hands have gotten bigger. I think it's I think the Little Debbies have gotten smaller. But either way, she's not a very big person, so I don't think her hands are that big. All right. Well, I appreciate both of y'all joining. If you don't follow Hidden Tracks on all the social stuff, please make sure you do. All the it's everywhere, right? That you can stream.
It's everywhere but Apple. I've got one on iTunes, but I ain't paying $15.99 a month for that. I'll let Spotify put it out there for free.
Understand. So Spotify and YouTube and whatever and that stuff, and then you've got all the social pages too, right?
Yeah, I've got Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
All right, and what's the I know you have your music out on all the streaming platforms, but what's the best place for people to be following you and keep up to what you got coming up?
I post the most on Instagram, and so my Instagram is Alisha_Marie Music.
Gotcha.
And Alisha spelled Alisha, in case you're wondering.
All right. Hopefully, I'll have it right on the flyer on the beginning of this episode. I have made mistakes before, so I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm free, and that's what you get, what you pay for. All right. Well, thank y'all for taking the time to be on the podcast. Like she said, especially wherever you're streaming music, go hit the follow button. And get the monthly listeners and the streams up for her and any other independent artists that you run across. I know we're all bad about listening to them and then not hitting the follow button. But when it comes to booking and everything else, those numbers help out a lot when it comes to those things. Go to a show, go meet them at the merch table and let them know that you heard their music. And if they have merch, which working on, any independent folks, put some gas in the tank, get them a hotel room, let them know you heard them, help them get down the road, and so they can be back again, right? So, all right, we'll see y'all later. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.